Hi, I'm Megan from Explore Outdoor, and today I'm going to make the beef lasagna from your family park cooking pack. So I like to get everything prepared before I start cooking, just makes it easier so you don't leave anything out. So I've grated 3 large carrots here, sort of 4 medium, but you need roughly sort of like a cereal bowl's worth. An onion chopped as finely as you can. They've got 2 cloves of garlic there, but you can put in as much or as little as you want of that. And then you can see I've got the mince and things. We've got our pasta sheets from the family park cooking pack, and the bits and bobs to make our cheese sauce. You'll need a dish, sort of roughly about this size, but you can make really anything work. It's just the depth is a lot easier to get those layers in there. Okay. Just make sure when you're cutting the vegetables that you're careful with your hands, and grating the carrot, and the grater can be quite sharp as well, so just take care with that. Just make sure you supervise any small children, especially when you're working with the hot surfaces with the pans as well. So the first thing that we need to do with our recipe today is we need to brown our mince off. So I'm going to get that onto the hob on a medium heat, and that'll take about 5 minutes to brown off. Okay, so I've got the pan on a medium heat. I'm going to pop a splash of oil in. And then our mince. Okay, we just need to sort of break it up. I'm just going to season the meat now. A bit of salt and some pepper. And we're just going to keep moving it around the pan until it's nice and brown all over. Okay, so that's nice and brown now. It only takes a couple of minutes. Just make sure that it's brown all over, and then we're just going to set this aside. You can just pop it in a bowl and use the same pan, but I'm just going to use a separate one for ease. So I'm going to heat another saucepan, just a little bit of oil. And then we're going to put our onion and our carrot. Okay, I'm just going to reduce the heat down, and then we're going to let that soften for about 10 minutes. Okay, so that's nice and soft now. It doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan because I've got it on a low heat and there's lots of liquid in the carrots. So next stage is we're just going to pop our garlic in, mix it around, and we're just going to leave that for another 2 minutes before we add the rest of our ingredients. So now that's been going for 2 minutes, we can get our meat and pop that back into the pan. Get all the sauce as well. And then our 2 cans of tomatoes. Give it a good stir. So I'm going to put a bit of extra seasoning in now, so it's just up to you how much you put in. Just a bit of salt and pepper. Mix that in. And then I'm just going to transfer this over to another hob while I make our white sauce, and that can just simmer on a low to medium heat. Okay, so I've got my red sauce simmering on the stove over here, so I'm going to do my white sauce now. So just on a nice low heat because we don't want the butter to burn. I'm going to melt our butter first. So that's 75 grams. So now the butter's melted, I'm just going to pop my flour in and give that a good mix, and it will form a nice thick paste, or they call it a roux. So keep stirring it until all the flour is mixed in. It's nice and smooth. Okay, so you sort of want a paste like that. Just keep moving it around the pan just for another few seconds. Okay. And for the next part I'm going to use a whisk. And then we need to start adding our milk, about 100 ml at a time, just a healthy splash. So we need to get that mixing quite quickly because we don't want the milk to burn on the bottom of the pan. Oops, a bit of a splash there. And you can see it will really soak into the flour mixture there, but that's okay, we're just going to keep adding just a little bit at a time. So you'll get almost like a custard consistency from it. Just add the last little bit of milk. Give it a good stir, and then I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. Give it another good stir, and then I'm going to leave it on the hob on a low heat for about 10 minutes until it's thickened, sort of like thick custard consistency. So the sauce is a nice thick texture now. You can see it just runs through the whisk. So I'm going to take that off the heat. Also the red meat sauce is done as well. So we'll take those off and take them over to layer up. So I've taken our red sauce and our white sauce off the hob now. I've got my oven preheating to about 180 degrees. It's a fan oven, but 200 if it's not. And so we're going to start layering. So you start with about 1/4 of your red sauce on the bottom of your pan. And just flatten that out. Okay, and then we're going to start laying our sheets up. They're quite easy to snap, so you can just snap a bit off the end if it doesn't quite fit. Okay, and then you go again with your red sauce over the top. Okay, and then we come in with our white sauce. It's about 1/3 of this. It's nice and thick now. Layer that over the top. So it'll probably get quite messy, but don't worry too much about that. Mix it in. Okay, Another layer of the sheets. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that again. And then we just finish it off by topping the final layer of pasta sheets with the rest of your white sauce. Always looks a bit of a mess, but I'm sure it'll look great when it comes out of the oven. You can always sprinkle a bit of cheese on the top there. This is just a very basic recipe, so I won't do that today, but you can if you've got some left over in there. Okay, so we're just going to pop this in the oven for about 20-25 minutes now. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn until it goes nice and golden on top. Okay. Okay, so I've got the lasagna out of the oven. Just be careful because the pan is still quite hot. But we serve it with a little bit of salad. You could get some garlic bread. You can see it's gone nice and golden brown on top. Okay, so that's your lasagna with side salad.